God's chosen one. 7 signs. People are noticing that you are a chosen one. Stop. This is not a video. This is a divine confirmation delivered straight to your soul. Have you noticed how people's eyes follow you? How conversations halt when you enter? How some draw near while others inexplicably retreat? You've felt it, haven't you? That invisible weight, that sacred marking upon your spirit that others sense but cannot name. Today, heaven speaks directly to you. You are not imagining things. You are not overthinking. You are experiencing spiritual recognition, and it's time you understood. Why for years you've wondered, why do strangers open their hearts to me? Why do some people instantly love me while others seem threatened by my very presence? Why does my arrival shift the atmosphere? The answer has always been written in your soul. You just needed divine confirmation. You are chosen. Not by human standards, not by earthly measures, but marked by the Most High for a purpose that transcends ordinary existence. 7 undeniable signs confirm what heaven has always known about you. 7 sacred markers that others see even when you don't. Your isolation wasn't rejection. It was preparation. Your struggles weren't punishment. They were refinement. Your difference isn't a curse. It's your calling. Right now, as these words penetrate your spirit, something ancient within you awakens. That restlessness you've carried. It's your soul recognizing its divine appointment. If your heart is racing, if tears are forming, if something deep within whispers, finally, then type these words right now. I am chosen. Let heaven witness your awakening. Before we unveil these 7 sacred signs, I want to thank every soul who has supported this divine message through super thanks. Your generosity flows like living water, reaching parched spirits across the world. You're not merely donating, you're sowing seeds into eternal soil, helping awaken other chosen ones walking in isolation. Whether you give or simply bear witness with your presence, know that you matter deeply. Your time, your attention, your open heart. These are offerings that heaven sees. Now prepare yourself. What you're about to discover will forever change how you see yourself and why others have always seen something different in you. The 7 signs await. Your destiny can no longer be ignored. Are you ready to finally understand why you've never been like everyone else? The truth begins now. Have you ever caught someone staring at you, their gaze lingering far too long? Not the casual glance of curiosity, not the quick look of recognition, but that deep, searching stare that feels like they're trying to decode your very existence. Have you ever caught someone staring at you, their gaze lingering far too long? Not the casual glance of curiosity, not the quick look of recognition, but that deep, searching stare that feels like they're trying to decode your very existence. They don't speak, they just watch, as if your presence has disrupted something fundamental in their reality. And here's what haunts you. Sometimes they can't look away. Other times they can't meet your eyes at all. This isn't about your appearance. This isn't about what you're wearing or how you carry yourself. This is about frequency, soul frequency. You've entered rooms where conversations suddenly shift, where laughter becomes nervous, where the atmosphere itself seems to hold its breath. Why? Because you carry something they can't name, but absolutely feel. The Gospel of John tells us, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. That light, it's radiating from you. And people, they're reacting to what they've never encountered before. Some are drawn like moths to flame, fascinated, mesmerized, unable to explain why your presence brings them inexplicable peace. Others, they're unsettled, agitated, because your light does something terrifying. It illuminates what they've spent years hiding in shadow. Think about it. How many times have you noticed someone studying you from across the room, their eyes following your movements, their expression caught between wonder and unease. You are a living mirror, chosen one, not reflecting physical features, but spiritual truth. When people look at you, they're not seeing flesh and blood. They're encountering something their soul recognizes, but their mind can't process. Why do I feel exposed around them? Why can't I maintain my usual facade? Why does their silence feel louder than words? These questions haunt them because in your presence masks dissolve, pretense crumbles, truth emerges. This is why some avoid your gaze entirely. Looking into your eyes feels like standing before divine judgment, not because you're judging them, but because your spirit naturally reveals what needs healing. Remember when Jesus walked through crowds, Scripture says people knew him instantly, not by physical recognition, but by spiritual authority. You carry that same essence. If you've ever caught someone staring transfixed, studying you like an ancient text, they can't decipher comment right now. I feel that look, because you need to understand, this isn't coincidence, this is confirmation. Your presence alone preaches sermons. Your silence speaks volumes. Your existence challenges everything they thought was real. You don't need eloquent words. You don't need to prove anything. Your very being is a divine statement that disrupts spiritual slumber. Some call it charisma. Others label it different. But heaven knows the truth. You're marked, sealed, set apart for purposes they can't comprehend. That's why they stare. That's why they study. That's why some draw near while others retreat. You are the evidence of God they never expected to encounter in human form. And this is only the first sign. But what happens when their fascination transforms into something more? When admiration suddenly shifts to inexplicable hostility, prepare yourself, because the second sign reveals why you trigger such extreme reactions in others' souls. Chosen one, have you ever wondered why some people light up when you enter a room, while others suddenly grow cold? Why does the same person embrace you warmly on Monday, then avoid your gaze by Friday? Why do strangers either pour out their hearts to you or recoil as if you've burned them? This isn't coincidence, this is spiritual recognition. You carry something they can't explain, a frequency that forces souls to choose. And there is no neutral ground when divinity walks among the ordinary. Let me tell you something that might shake you. Their reactions have nothing to do with who you are and everything to do with what you reveal in them. When light enters a room, it doesn't discriminate. It simply illuminates. Some welcome the clarity. Others flee from what it exposes. Jesus himself declared in John 3:20-21, "Everyone who does evil hates the light and will not come into the light for fear that their deeds will be exposed. But whoever lives by truth comes into the light." You are that light, chosen one, and light always creates division. Think about it. Have you noticed how some people seem magnetically drawn to you? They trust you instantly, share secrets they've never told anyone, seek your presence when they're hurting. These souls recognize something sacred in you. Your energy doesn't threaten them, it heals them. Your presence doesn't judge them, it frees them. But then there are the others, the ones who loved you yesterday, but ghost you today, who praise you publicly but undermine you privately, who seem irritated by your very existence, even when you've done nothing wrong. You're not imagining this hostility. You're experiencing spiritual warfare in human form. These people aren't reacting to you. They're reacting to what your light reveals about them. Your authenticity exposes their masks. Your peace disrupts their chaos. Your truth challenges their illusions. And here's what you must understand. This division is proof of your calling. In Luke 12:51, Jesus said, "Do you think I came to bring peace on earth? No, I tell you, but division. Your very presence forces people to choose truth or deception, growth or stagnation, light or darkness. Remember when that close friend suddenly turned cold, when family members began treating you like a stranger, when colleagues started whispering behind your back. Their souls sensed something shifting. Your spiritual elevation triggered their spiritual insecurity. Your growth highlighted their stagnation, and instead of rising to meet you, they chose to try pulling you down. I know it hurts. Chosen one, I know you've cried over relationships that ended without explanation, mourned connections that dissolved like morning mist, questioned yourself when others' love turned to inexplicable hatred. But let me tell you what, heaven sees every rejection was protection. Every closed door was divine redirection. Every heart that turned from you was making room for souls actually ready for your light. You are not meant to be universally loved. You are meant to be spiritually effective. Your presence is a catalyst. Some will use it to transform. Others will resist it to protect their comfortable darkness, but all will react. There is no lukewarm response to divine fire. This is why you attract both devoted allies and bitter enemies, often within the same family, workplace, or social circle. Your spiritual frequency creates an immediate soul response that bypasses logic and social niceties. People don't just meet you, they encounter something eternal within you, and eternity demands a decision. The Apostle Paul wrote in 2 Corinthians 2:15-16, "For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. To the one we are an aroma that brings death, to the other an aroma that brings life." You carry this same divine fragrance. To some you smell like hope, healing, and home. To others you reek of conviction, change, and discomfort. Both reactions confirm your anointing, so when someone inexplicably turns against you, remember, darkness always attacks what it cannot comprehend. Hatred often masks deep spiritual recognition. Their hostility is heaven's confirmation that you carry something they desperately need but aren't ready to receive. You are the light, and light attracts both butterflies seeking beauty and moths seeking destruction. If you've ever been loved intensely, then hated without cause. If you've watched relationships flip from adoration to animosity overnight. If you've been blamed for problems you didn't create simply because your presence exposed what was already broken, then lift your head, chosen one. These polarized reactions are your spiritual credentials. If you've ever been hated just for being who you are, type, "I know I'm different" below. Let heaven witness your understanding. Your light will always divide. But remember, even in division, you fulfill your purpose, for you force sleeping souls to finally choose their path. And that choice, that's exactly why you were sent. Picture this moment. You're sitting in a coffee shop minding your own business. A stranger sits across from you. You haven't said a word. You haven't invited conversation. Yet suddenly they begin to speak, and what pours out isn't small talk. It's their deepest pain, their hidden shame, the secret they swore they'd take to their grave. You sit there silent as tears form in their eyes. They tell you about the betrayal that shattered their marriage, the addiction they've hidden for decades, the childhood wound that still bleeds. And then they say those words you've heard countless times before. "I don't know why I'm telling you this. I've never told anyone." Sound familiar, chosen one? This isn't coincidence. This isn't your imagination. This is spiritual recognition at its deepest level. You are a keeper of sacred space, a guardian of souls, a walking sanctuary where broken hearts find permission to heal. Think about it. How many times has this happened? The grocery store clerk who suddenly shares her grief over losing her son. The businessman on the plane who confesses his fear of dying alone. The waitress who whispers about her abusive past while pouring your coffee. They don't just talk to you, they pour into you, as if your very presence creates a spiritual vortex that draws out what they've buried for years. You want to know why? Because your spirit carries something rare in this world, divine safety. James 5:16 declares, "Confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed." But here's what most don't understand. Not everyone can receive confession. Not every soul can hold sacred space. It takes someone anointed, someone chosen, someone like you. You see, while others wear masks, your authenticity creates permission. While others judge your spirit, offers grace. While the world demands performance, your presence whispers, "You can be real here." But let me tell you the price of this gift. Every story you absorb leaves an imprint. Every confession you receive adds weight to your spirit. You walk away from these encounters feeling drained, heavy, sometimes overwhelmed. You've asked God, "Why me? Why can't I just have normal conversations? Why do people treat me like their personal priest?" Because chosen one in a world of locked doors, you are the master key. Think about Jesus. Wherever he went, the broken found him. The woman at the well, a stranger who poured out her shameful past within minutes. The tax collector who climbed a tree just to see him, then confessed his sins over dinner. Mary Magdalene who washed his feet with tears. They recognized in him what others now recognize in you. A soul that doesn't condemn, a spirit that sees beyond the surface, a heart that creates space for transformation. But here's the shocking truth that will change everything. These people aren't randomly choosing you. Their souls are recognizing you on a frequency beyond words, beyond logic, beyond understanding. Spirit calls to spirit. You are their last safe place in an unsafe world. Do you understand the weight of this calling? While others build walls, you build bridges. While others hide their truth, you invite honesty. While others wear armor, you offer sanctuary. You didn't ask for this gift. You didn't sign up to be everyone's confessor, but heaven chose you for this sacred role, and now you must choose. Will you embrace this divine appointment? Will you honor the trust heaven has placed in you? Will you accept that you are not just a listener, but a healer? Proverbs 11:13 reminds us, "A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret." You are that trustworthy soul, the vault where others store their pain, the sacred ground where masks fall away. But remember, this chosen one, not every burden is yours to carry. Jesus said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." You are the bridge to healing, not the final destination. Point them to the ultimate healer while honoring the sacred trust they've placed in you. If strangers pour out their hearts to you, if people say, "I've never told anyone this," in your presence, if you've become the keeper of countless untold stories, then type these words right now: "I am the sacred keeper," because this gift marks you as chosen. This burden confirms your calling. This strange phenomenon that's followed you all your life. It's heaven's signature on your soul. But the question remains, what will you do now that you know why they can't stay silent around you? Because once you understand this truth, once you embrace this calling, everything changes. And trust me, chosen one, what we unveil next will explain why some people challenge you the moment they meet you, why they test your wisdom, why they try to tear down what they sense but cannot understand. The battle for your spirit has only just begun. Chosen one, let me ask you something that's been burning in your soul. Why does it feel like you're constantly under attack? Why do people challenge you, test you, push against you? Even when you've done nothing wrong, you walk into a room and immediately someone needs to prove they're smarter than you. You share an insight and they rush to contradict it. You achieve something and they minimize it. You stay silent and somehow that offends them too. This isn't coincidence, this is spiritual warfare disguised as everyday interaction. Think about it. That coworker who constantly undermines your ideas, even the good ones. That family member who questions every decision you make. Those friends who seem supportive until you start succeeding. Then suddenly they're picking apart everything you do. You've felt it, haven't you? That exhausting pattern where no matter what you say or do, someone feels compelled to challenge it. You speak truth. They argue, you show kindness. They question your motives. You demonstrate wisdom. They mock your understanding. Here's what's really happening. Your very presence disrupts their spiritual slumber. Your light exposes shadows they've grown comfortable in. Your peace unsettles their chaos. Your faith challenges their doubt. They don't even understand why they react this way, but their spirit recognizes something in you that threatens everything they've built their life upon. The Bible warns us about this in 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 12. All who desire to live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution. You see, this isn't random, this is prophetic. You're not being paranoid, you're being proven. But here's what breaks my heart, and probably yours too. It's not just strangers or distant acquaintances attacking you. Sometimes it's the people closest to you, the ones who should celebrate your growth instead try to keep you small. The ones who should protect your dreams instead try to clip your wings. They'll say things like, "Who do you think you are? You've changed. You think you're better than us now." Sound familiar? Listen to me carefully. They don't hate you. They hate what you represent. They hate the mirror you've become. They hate that your transformation exposes their stagnation and your silence. Oh, your silence drives them absolutely mad. Because when you refuse to engage in petty battles, when you won't stoop to their level, when you maintain your peace in the face of their chaos, you're demonstrating a power they can't comprehend. Jesus himself said in Matthew chapter 10, verse 22, "You will be hated by everyone because of me, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved." You're standing on an invisible battlefield, chosen one. Every challenge thrown your way isn't just personal, it's spiritual. Every test of your character isn't random, it's strategic. The enemy uses people as weapons, not because they're evil, but because they're available. They become unwitting soldiers in a war. They don't even know they're fighting. But here's the divine truth that changes everything. These challenges aren't meant to break you. They're meant to reveal you. Every attack exposes your strength. Every test proves your authenticity. Every challenge confirms your calling. When David faced Goliath, everyone saw a giant. David saw an opportunity for God to show his power. When Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery, they thought they were destroying him. They were actually positioning him for palace. So the next time someone challenges your peace, questions your purpose, or tries to dim your light, remember this: eagles don't fight with pigeons. Lions don't turn around when dogs bark. You are not called to convince everyone. You are called to complete your assignment. If you've ever been attacked simply for standing in your truth, if you've been criticized for maintaining your peace, if you've been challenged just for being who God made you to be, then it's time to declare, "I am not hiding anymore." Type it now. Let heaven witness your breakthrough. Let hell know you're done shrinking. Let every spiritual force understand. The days of you playing small are over. Your challenges are your confirmation. Your battles are your blessing. Your tests are your testimony. And that silence that drives them crazy, that's not weakness, that's warfare at its highest level. But chosen one, if you think being challenged is intense, wait until you discover what happens when God gives you the gift of seeing straight through people's masks. Because sign number 5 will shake everything you thought you knew about discernment. Are you ready to understand why some people can't even look you in the eye? You walk into a room and instantly know who's genuine and who's wearing a mask. Their smile says friend, but their energy screams envy. They speak words of love, but you feel the coldness beneath. Welcome to your divine gift and your sacred burden. Chosen one, you've always had this ability, that unsettling feeling when someone's words don't match their spirit. That wasn't paranoia, that was prophecy. You see their polished exterior, but you hear the chaos within. You watch their performance, but you sense their true intentions. You observe their kindness, but you detect the calculation. The spiritual person judges all things, but is himself to be judged by no one. 1 Corinthians 2:15. This isn't just intuition. This is divine radar operating through you. Remember that coworker who smiled in your face, but sabotaged you behind your back. You knew before it happened, you felt it. That family member who offers help with strings attached. You sensed their agenda before they even spoke. The friend who disappeared when you needed them most. Your spirit warned you, didn't it? They call you suspicious. They say you're too intense. They claim you overthink everything. But here's the shocking truth. They're not uncomfortable with your perception. They're terrified of your accuracy. You don't just see people, you see through them. While others are fooled by charm and charisma, you detect the darkness lurking beneath. When everyone else applauds the performance, you sense the deception behind the curtain. This is why they avoid your gaze. This is why conversations with you feel different. Your presence alone strips away pretense. But chosen one, this gift comes with a price. You've lost friendships because you couldn't pretend not to see their jealousy. You've walked away from opportunities because you sensed the hidden traps. You've stood alone while others followed false prophets. For what is hidden will be revealed, and what is concealed will be brought to light. Mark 4:22. You are that light, you are that revelation. People don't fear your words, they fear your silence. They don't dread your actions, they dread your knowing. They don't avoid your presence, they avoid your perception. Because when you look at them, really look at them, they can't hide anymore. You see the fear behind their confidence. You detect the insecurity beneath their arrogance. You sense the pain behind their cruelty. And here's what terrifies them most. You see it all without trying. This isn't a curse, it's your spiritual superpower. This isn't a burden, it's your divine equipment. This isn't isolation, it's protection. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. 1 Samuel 16:7. And He's given you that same vision. Stop doubting what you see. Stop questioning what you feel. Stop apologizing for what you know. When your spirit whispers danger, listen when your soul says fake. Believe it when your heart screams run. Move. You weren't given this gift to ignore it. You weren't blessed with sight to close your eyes. You weren't chosen to blend in with the blind. They're not afraid of you, chosen one. They're afraid of the truth you carry. They're terrified that one look from you exposes what they've spent years hiding. You don't need their words. Their energy speaks volumes. You don't need their explanations. Their spirit tells the story. You don't need their approval. Their discomfort confirms your power. Can you see it now? The masks falling, the truth emerging, the real faces behind the facades. If you're tired of pretending you don't see, if you're ready to embrace this divine vision, type I see truth right now. Let heaven witness your acceptance of this sacred sight, because once you fully embrace this gift, you'll never be deceived again. You'll walk in wisdom. You'll move in discernment. You'll live in truth. But be warned, seeing clearly means you can never go back to comfortable blindness. And if you think this gift is powerful, wait until you discover what happens when you don't just see through others, But when you begin to inspire them without even trying, picture this chosen one. You walk into a room and without saying a word, something shifts. The atmosphere changes. People sit straighter. Conversations deepen, hearts open. You've noticed it, haven't you? That co-worker who suddenly started reading spiritual books after one lunch conversation with you. That family member who began questioning their empty pursuits after watching how you live. That stranger who told you, something about you makes me want to be better. This is sign 6. You inspire others without trying. You are like a lighthouse in a storm-darkened harbor. Ships don't change course because you command them. They turn toward your light because they finally see the rocks they've been heading toward. Think about it. How many times have people said to you, "You make me see things differently"? After talking to you, I realized I need to change. There's something about your peace that makes me question my chaos. You don't preach. You don't lecture. You simply exist in truth. And that truth awakens something dormant in others. Jesus said in Matthew 5:14, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden." Notice he didn't say, "Try to be the light." He said, "You are the light." Present tense, already accomplished. Divine fact. Your very presence carries a frequency that disrupts spiritual slumber. When you enter a space, your soul's vibration pulls others upward, like a magnet drawing iron filings toward heaven. People begin to mirror your authenticity without realizing it. They start seeking depth because your depth exposes their shallowness. They hunger for meaning because your purpose reveals their emptiness. They crave peace because your calm highlights their chaos. You don't teach, they learn. You don't demand change, they transform. You don't judge, they convict themselves. But here's the divine paradox that confirms you're chosen. While many are drawn to your light, others flee from it. Have you noticed someone gets close, starts changing, begins awakening, then suddenly disappears from your life? They ghost you, block you, create distance, make excuses. Why? Because your light doesn't just illuminate, it exposes, and not everyone is ready to see what's been hidden in their shadows. If someone has ever drawn near to your energy, then abruptly vanished, comment right now, "I am the awakening." Confirm this divine truth. Listen closely, chosen one. This gift carries sacred weight. 2 Corinthians 2:15-16 reveals, "For we are to God the aroma of Christ among those being saved and those perishing. To one we are the fragrance of life, to the other the smell of death." Your presence forces choice, growth or retreat, truth or denial, light or continued darkness. You've seen it happen, friends. Suddenly pursuing their dreams after years of excuses. Family members breaking destructive patterns they've carried for decades. Strangers finding courage to leave toxic situations. Colleagues discovering purpose beyond paychecks. All because they encountered the divine frequency you carry. Remember that person who told you, "You changed my life," and you thought, "But I didn't do anything." Exactly. You didn't do, you simply were. Your authentic being becomes their breakthrough. Your spiritual alignment becomes their awakening call. Your connection to the divine becomes their reminder of what they've forgotten. If you've ever witnessed someone transform simply by being in your presence, if you've watched them rise to meet the light, you naturally emit comment now, "I am the light." Let heaven witness your recognition. But beware, chosen one. This gift demands wisdom. Not everyone who seeks your light wants transformation. Some want to borrow your radiance without doing their own work. They'll drain your energy while refusing to ignite their own flame. Jesus himself said in Matthew 7:6, "Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to pigs." I discern the difference between those ready for awakening and those addicted to spiritual sleep. Souls seeking growth and egos seeking attention. hearts open to change and minds closed to truth. Your inspiration flows from your connection to the source. When you walk in alignment with divine purpose, you become a living waterfall, naturally refreshing all who approach with genuine thirst. This is why isolation preceded your elevation. God had to separate you from conformity's influence so you could become transformation's catalyst. You weren't abandoned, you were set apart. You weren't rejected, you were reserved. You weren't forgotten, you were forged. Now you understand why your presence alone shifts atmospheres, why your peace disturbs chaos, why your truth threatens lies, why your light exposes darkness. You are not just chosen, you are commissioned as heaven's change agent. The question isn't whether you inspire transformation. The question is, will you embrace this sacred gift or continue dimming your light to make others comfortable in their darkness? Because once you fully accept this truth about yourself, the seventh and final sign will shake your understanding of everything you thought you knew about being chosen. Are you prepared for what's coming next, chosen one? Why is it that every door you approach seems to slam shut? Why do friends turn to strangers overnight? Why does betrayal find you even when you've done nothing wrong? I need you to hear this truth. You are not cursed. You are being carved. Think back. Remember that promotion that vanished at the last second, that relationship that crumbled without warning, that dream that dissolved just as it was within reach. You weren't being punished. You were being positioned. The enemy saw your anointing before you did. He launched his attacks early because he knew if you ever discovered who you truly are, his kingdom would tremble. So he sent isolation to break your spirit. He sent betrayal to shatter your trust. He sent delays to exhaust your faith. But look at you, still standing, still believing, still rising. Do you understand what this means? Every attack that didn't destroy you has only proved one thing. You cannot be broken by ordinary weapons. Job lost everything, his wealth, his health, his children. Yet God said of him, "There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright." Job wasn't abandoned. He was being refined for double restoration. Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers, falsely accused, forgotten in prison. But every attack was positioning him to save nations. You think your battles are random? Nothing about your life is random. Every obstacle has been strategically placed, not to stop you, but to strengthen you. That friend who stabbed you in the back, they were removed because they couldn't handle your next level. That opportunity that fell through, it was beneath your calling. That season of crushing loneliness, God was removing the noise so you could hear his voice clearly. Listen to me carefully. Gold is purified at 1948 degrees. Fahrenheit iron melts at 2800 degrees. But you're being refined at temperatures that would destroy ordinary souls, because you're not iron, you're not silver. You are gold, being prepared for the king's treasury. Every tear you've cried in secret, every night you've battled alone, every time you've been misunderstood, rejected, overlooked. These weren't accidents. These were appointments with your destiny. The enemy wouldn't waste his best weapons on someone insignificant. You are targeted because you are dangerous to darkness. You are attacked because you carry something that terrifies hell itself. David faced Goliath not in spite of being chosen, but because he was chosen. Moses faced Pharaoh not as punishment, but as preparation for leading millions to freedom. Your battles are not signs of God's absence. They are proof of his presence. Right now, some of you are on the verge of giving up. You're tired, you're wounded. You've been fighting for so long. But hear the word of the Lord. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through fire, you will not be burned. You are not walking through fire to be destroyed. You are walking through fire to be revealed. Every scar on your soul is a medal of honor. Every battle you've survived is a testimony of His faithfulness. Every attack you've endured is evidence that heaven has marked you for greatness. So when the next attack comes, and it will come, remember this: you are not fighting alone. The God who called you is the God who keeps you. You want to know why you're always challenged? Because champions are forged in conflict, not comfort, because warriors are made in war, not in peace, because you weren't chosen for easy, you were chosen for extraordinary. If you know that every battle has been preparing you for victory, type right now, I am forged by fire. Let heaven hear your declaration. Let hell know you refuse to break. The attacks will continue, but now you know why. Now you understand you're not being destroyed, you're being deployed and chosen. Your greatest victories are still ahead. But there's something else you need to know, something about the power that's been growing within you through every trial. Are you ready to discover what all this refinement has been preparing you for? Something irreversible has happened to you. Can you feel it? That old version of yourself, the one who could blend in play, small, stay hidden, that person is gone forever. You've crossed a threshold. Chosen one, there's no going back now. The train of your destiny has left the station, and you're already on board. Listen closely. What you're experiencing isn't just growth. It's metamorphosis. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, you cannot crawl back into who you were. That shell has already cracked. That skin has already been shed. From this moment forward, you are permanently altered. Your spiritual DNA has been activated. Your eyes see differently. Your heart beats to heaven's rhythm. Your very presence carries an authority that cannot be masked or dimmed. The world will notice. Oh, how they'll notice. Some will celebrate your transformation. Others will resent it. But make no mistake, no one will be able to ignore it. You see, when God awakens His chosen ones, He doesn't install a dimmer switch. There's no halfway anointed, no part-time chosen. You either walk in your calling or you suffer trying to deny it. And here's the truth that might shake you. Refusing your awakening doesn't make it disappear. It only creates spiritual torment. Remember Jonah. He tried to run from his calling. Where did that get him? In the belly of a whale, forced to confront his destiny anyway. The prophet Jeremiah declared in chapter 20, verse 9, His word is in my heart like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot. That fire burning in your bones right now, that restlessness in your spirit that's not going away, it will only intensify until you surrender to who you've become. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't unsee what your eyes have been opened to see. You can't unfeel the weight of your divine purpose. The old you, the one who could tolerate shallow conversations, fake relationships, meaningless pursuits, that person has been burned away. By holy fire, what remains is pure, powerful, and undeniable. Your tolerance for spiritual mediocrity gone. Your ability to pretend everything's normal vanished. Your willingness to play small completely destroyed. Here's what terrifies most people about this transformation. You're no longer controllable. You can't be manipulated by fear, silenced by criticism, or contained by other people's expectations. The enemy knows this. That's why the attacks have intensified. That's why the resistance has increased. He sees what you're becoming, and he's desperate to make you doubt your transformation, but it's too late. The metamorphosis is complete. You are no longer the person the world once knew, and the world will have to relearn how to see you. Some will step back in awe, others will step away in fear, but everyone will have to acknowledge that something fundamental has shifted. I know this feels overwhelming. I know part of you wishes you could go back to being normal. But let me tell you something crucial. Normal was never your destiny. Average was never your calling. Blending in was never your purpose. You were created for this exact transformation. Every trial prepared you. Every rejection refined you. Every moment of isolation was stripping away what didn't belong. The Apostle Paul understood this perfectly. In 2 Corinthians 5:17, he declared, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come, the old has gone, the new is here." Notice, he didn't say, "The old is fading," or "The new might come." No, the old has gone, the new is here. Present tense, permanent change, irreversible transformation. So here's your choice. Chosen one. You can fight this awakening and live in spiritual agony, or you can embrace it and step into unprecedented power. But understand this, there is no third option. There is no going back to sleep once your eyes have been opened. Your old life, it's not coming back. Your old limitations, they've been shattered. Your old identity, it's been consumed by divine fire. What emerges now is who you were always meant to be. Raw, real, radically transformed. If you feel like you no longer belong in the old world, if everything about your former life feels foreign now, if you know in your spirit that you can never go back, then it's time to declare it. Type these words right now: I am awakened. Let heaven and earth witness your acknowledgement. Let the spiritual realm record your acceptance. Because from this moment forward, you're not just different. You're permanently, powerfully, irreversibly transformed. And trust me, the world will never be ready for what God is about to do through you. But first, you must fully accept what you've become. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more looking back. Your awakening is complete. Now it's time to rise, chosen one. What if I told you that your very presence is igniting a spiritual wildfire across humanity? You are not just awakened, you are the awakener. Every room you enter becomes a cathedral of transformation. Every conversation you have plants seeds in dormant souls. You are the spark that lights the sacred torch chain, and once that fire begins, it cannot be stopped. Have you noticed it yet? How people around you suddenly start questioning their empty routines. How coworkers begin seeking deeper meaning after one lunch conversation with you. How family members who mocked spirituality now ask about faith. This is not coincidence, this is divine orchestration. You are a walking resurrection story. Your very existence proves that spiritual awakening is possible in this numbed world. And souls recognize this, even when their minds don't understand it. Let me show you what's really happening. When you walk into that grocery store, that office, that family gathering, you carry an invisible frequency that disrupts spiritual slumber. People feel it. Some lean in hungry for what you carry. Others resist, disturbed by the light exposing their shadows. But here's the divine truth. Resistance is still response. Even those who fight your influence are being activated. Their very opposition proves they've been touched by your presence. And it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. Joel 2:28. You are part of that outpouring, not just receiving it, channeling it. Think about it. How many times has someone said to you, "After we talked, I couldn't stop thinking about what you said"? How often do people suddenly open up about their spiritual hunger in your presence? How frequently do you hear, "You've changed my perspective on everything"? These aren't just nice comments. These are souls reporting their awakening. You need to understand the magnitude of this responsibility. Every interaction you have is a potential turning point in someone's eternal journey. Every word you speak carries frequencies that can shatter spiritual strongholds. The person serving you coffee, they might go home and pray for the first time in decades, because of your genuine kindness. That difficult relative, they might finally face their pain because your peace showed them it's possible to heal the stranger in the elevator. They might question their entire worldview because of one authentic moment with you. You are not just living your life, you are shifting the spiritual atmosphere of every space you occupy. As soon as you enter the room, the sleeping souls begin to wake up. This is why the enemy fights you so hard. He knows that one awakened chosen, one can trigger a domino effect that liberates thousands. Your transformation becomes their invitation. Your freedom becomes their possibility. Remember Moses. One man's encounter with the burning bush led to an entire nation's liberation. Remember the woman at the well. One conversation with Jesus transformed her into an evangelist who awakened her whole town. You carry that same transformative power. But here's what's crucial. This isn't about ego. This isn't about being special. This is about being a vessel. You're not the source of the light. You're the lamp that lets it shine. And right now, in this very moment, someone desperately needs what flows through you. Are you brave enough to accept this sacred responsibility? Can you handle knowing that your choices ripple through eternity? Will you step fully into your role as a spiritual catalyst? I know it feels overwhelming, I know. You sometimes wish you could just be normal, but chosen one. Normal people don't shift atmospheres. Normal people don't awaken dead spirits. Normal people don't carry heaven's frequency in their very cells. You were never meant to be normal. You were meant to be necessary. So I ask you now, if you've ever felt someone start to change just from being around you, if you've witnessed that moment when their eyes light up with newfound understanding, if you've seen souls begin to stir from their spiritual coma in your presence, then declare it boldly, right now. Comment, "I light up souls." Let heaven and earth witness your acceptance of this sacred mandate. But awakening others comes with a price, a sacred cost that few are willing to pay. And as you're about to discover, the very gift that makes you a spiritual catalyst also makes you a target. Are you prepared to learn why your light attracts both moths and shadows? The truth about spiritual warfare awaits. Listen carefully, chosen one. There's a battle raging inside you right now, a war between who you are and who you pretend to be. Every morning you wake up carrying divine fire. But by noon, you've dimmed yourself down to match the shadows around you. By evening, you're exhausted, not from using your light, but from hiding it. Let me tell you about a candle that refused to burn. It sat on the altar, perfect and pristine. Other candles blazed around it, giving light to those stumbling in darkness. But this candle, it remained unlit. Not because it lacked a wick, not because it lacked wax, but because it was afraid. If I burn, it whispered, I'll melt, I'll change. I'll never be the same. And it was right. But what the candle didn't understand was this. It was made to melt, created to transform, designed to give everything away, just like you. How many times have you swallowed your wisdom to avoid making others uncomfortable? How often have you pretended not to see what your spirit clearly reveals? How frequently have you apologized for the very gifts God placed within you? Jesus didn't whisper, "Maybe be the light of the world if it's convenient." He declared in Matthew 5:14-16, "You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Yet here you are suffocating under a bowl of your own making. You think you're being humble, you think you're being wise. But chosen one, there's nothing humble about denying God's design. There's nothing wise about refusing your assignment. Do you know what happens every time you dim your light? Someone remains lost in darkness. Every time you bite your tongue when truth needs speaking, someone misses their divine appointment. Every time you shrink to fit in, another soul loses the chance to witness what transformation looks like. You are not just hiding yourself. You are hiding hope from those desperately searching for it. The door before you isn't just an opportunity, it's an obligation. The light within you isn't just a gift, it's a responsibility. Isaiah 61 commands, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." Not arise if you feel ready, not shine when it's comfortable. But arise, shine now. I know what you're thinking. But people will judge me. They'll call me arrogant. They'll say, I think I'm special. Let them. Moses made excuses too. Who am I to go to Pharaoh? He asked. Jeremiah claimed he was too young. Gideon insisted he was the least in his family. But God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. Your light makes some people squint. Good. They've been in darkness too long. Your truth makes some people angry. Let them rage. Truth has always disturbed the comfortable. Your calling makes some people mock. So what they mocked every prophet, every chosen vessel, every divine messenger. But here's what should truly frighten you. One day you'll stand before the Almighty, and He won't ask why some people didn't like your light. He'll ask why you buried it. He won't inquire about who you made comfortable. He'll ask about the souls who remained in darkness because you chose comfort over calling that gentle grandmother who sits behind you at church. She's been praying for someone like you to speak truth to her grandson, that troubled teen in your neighborhood. They're desperately seeking authentic spiritual authority, that coworker drowning in despair. They need exactly the wisdom you've been hiding every single day. You delay, someone waits in darkness. The door is open, chosen one, not just for you to walk through, but for you to hold open for others. Stop rehearsing your inadequacies. God knew every flaw when He chose you. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Light shines brightest in darkness. Stop asking for more signs. 7 have already been revealed. The question isn't whether you're chosen. That's been settled in the heavenlies. The question is, will you finally stop pretending to be ordinary? If you've spent years dimming your light to make others comfortable, if you've apologized one too many times for seeing what others miss, if you're finally ready to burn with the full intensity of your divine calling, then make this declaration right now. Type these words and let heaven witness your decision. I will not hide my light anymore. The world doesn't need another person playing small. It needs chosen ones walking in full authority. The door is open, your light is needed, and time is running out. Will you finally step into the fullness of who you've always been? Or will you let another day pass while souls wait in darkness? The choice has always been yours. Choose light, choose now, choose boldly. Your destiny and theirs depends on it. Something irreversible has happened to you. Can you feel it? That old version of yourself, the one who could blend in play, small, stay hidden, that person is gone forever. You've crossed a threshold, chosen one. There's no going back now. The train of your destiny has left the station and you're already on board. Listen closely. What you're experiencing isn't just growth, it's metamorphosis. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, you cannot crawl back into who you were. That shell has already cracked. That skin has already been shed. From this moment forward, you are permanently altered. Your spiritual DNA has been activated. Your eyes see differently. Your heart beats to heaven's rhythm. Your very presence carries an authority that cannot be masked or dimmed. The world will notice. Oh, how they'll notice. Some will celebrate your transformation. Others will resent it. But make no mistake, no one will be able to ignore it. You see, when God awakens His chosen ones, He doesn't install a dimmer switch. There's no halfway anointed, no part-time chosen. You either walk in your calling or you suffer trying to deny it. And here's the truth that might shake you. Refusing your awakening doesn't make it disappear. It only creates spiritual torment. Remember Jonah. He tried to run from his calling. Where did that get him? In the belly of a whale, forced to confront his destiny anyway. The prophet Jeremiah declared in chapter 20, verse 9, "His word is in my heart, like a fire shut up in my bones. I am weary of holding it in. Indeed, I cannot." That fire burning in your bones right now, that restlessness in your spirit that's not going away, it will only intensify until you surrender to who you've become. You can't unknow what you now know. You can't unsee what your eyes have been opened to see. You can't unfeel the weight of your divine purpose. The old you, the one who could tolerate shallow conversations, fake relationships, meaningless pursuits, that person has been burned away by holy fire. What remains is pure, powerful, and undeniable. Your tolerance for spiritual mediocrity. Gone your ability to pretend everything's normal. Vanished your willingness to play small, completely destroyed. Here's what terrifies most people about this transformation. You're no longer controllable. You can't be manipulated by fear, silenced by criticism, or contained by other people's expectations. The enemy knows this. That's why the attacks have intensified. That's why the resistance has increased. He sees what you're becoming, and he's desperate to make you doubt your transformation, but it's too late. The metamorphosis is complete. You are no longer the person the world once knew, and the world will have to relearn how to see you. Some will step back in awe, others will step away in fear, but everyone will have to acknowledge that something fundamental has shifted. I know this feels overwhelming. I know part of you wishes you could go back to being normal. But let me tell you something crucial. Normal was never your destiny. Average was never your calling. Blending in was never your purpose. In today's hyper-connected yet spiritually disconnected world, being a chosen one carries unique challenges our ancestors never faced. You're navigating a landscape where your divine gifts must shine through social media, noise, workplace politics, and a culture that often celebrates the superficial while dismissing the sacred. Here's what many spiritual teachers won't tell you. Your light doesn't always need to be on full blast. Think of it like a dimmer switch rather than an on-off button. In some environments like that hostile workplace or family gathering with skeptical relatives, you can adjust your spiritual intensity while maintaining your authenticity. This isn't hiding, it's wisdom. Jesus himself said to be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Start by identifying your safe spaces versus your mission fields. Safe spaces are where you can fully express your spiritual gifts. Perhaps your prayer group, certain friendships, or online communities of fellow seekers. Mission fields are where you need more discernment. Maybe your corporate job or extended family gatherings where your light needs to shine differently, not dimmer, just more strategically. Practice what I call spiritual code switching. Just as multilingual people switch languages based on their audience, learn to translate your spiritual insights into language others can receive. At work, your prophetic insights might manifest as strong intuition or pattern recognition. Your healing presence might show up as being an exceptional listener or mentor. Create boundaries, not walls. Many chosen ones exhaust themselves because they feel obligated to be on constantly. Set specific times for deep spiritual work. Maybe you're available for those soul-searching conversations on weekends, but weekday evenings are for recharging. It's not selfish, it's sustainable. Document your experiences. Keep a private journal of the signs, synchronicities, and spiritual encounters you experience. This serves two purposes: validation during moments of doubt and discernment, as you notice patterns in how the divine communicates with you, Specifically, build your spiritual support network carefully. Find at least 3 people who understand your journey, not necessarily those who experience the same signs, but those who respect your path, without trying to diminish or overly dramatize it. This might include a spiritual director, a grounded friend who shares your faith tradition, and perhaps a mentor who's further along the path. Finally, remember that being chosen doesn't mean being perfect. You'll have days when you question everything, moments when you wish you could just be normal, and times when the weight of seeing what others cannot feels overwhelming. This is part of the journey, not evidence that you're failing. Your path is unique, but you're not alone. Millions of others are awakening to their spiritual callings in this exact moment in history. We're living in an unprecedented time where ancient wisdom meets modern challenges, where mystics have email addresses, and where prophets might first hear their calling through a YouTube video at 3 a.m. The signs are real. The calling is genuine. But how you navigate this path with wisdom, boundaries, and strategic authenticity will determine not just your spiritual success, but your ability to fulfill your purpose without burning out. Trust the process. Honor your gifts, and remember, even Jesus took breaks from the crowds to pray alone on the mountainside. Chosen one, as we reach the end of this sacred journey together, let's remember what heaven has confirmed today. You are not imagining things. Those 7 signs, the stares, the instant reactions, the confessions, the challenges, the discernment, the influence, and the spiritual battles, they're not coincidences. They're divine confirmation of what your soul has always known. But here's what I need you to understand most deeply. You are not alone in this journey, not for 1 second. Right now, across this nation, thousands of other chosen ones are discovering these same truths. They're wiping away the same tears of recognition. They're feeling the same mixture of awe and responsibility. They're standing at the same threshold, deciding whether to step fully into their calling. God is actively working in your life at this very moment. Every struggle you've faced, every gift you've discovered, every time you've felt different, it's all been part of His perfect plan to prepare you for such a time as this. Let me ask you something that only you can answer. Now that you know who you truly are, what will you do with this sacred knowledge? Will you continue to dim your light, or will you finally let it shine as God intended? Let's pray together now. Whether you're in your living room, your car, or wherever you're hearing these words, I want you to know that my hand is on your shoulder in spirit as we approach the throne of grace. Heavenly Father, we come before you with hearts full of gratitude and wonder. Thank you for marking these precious souls with your divine seal. Thank you for choosing them before the foundation of the world, for purposes that exceed human understanding. Lord, I lift up every chosen one hearing these words. Strengthen them where they feel weak, encourage them where they feel alone, illuminate their path where they feel lost. Open doors that no man can shut, and close doors that would lead them astray. Give them courage to embrace their calling fully. Help them see that their differences are divine design, not defects. When the world misunderstands them, be their comfort. When spiritual battles rage, be their fortress. When doubt creeps in, be their assurance. Father, connect them with others who will support their journey. Bring divine appointments and sacred friendships into their lives. Let them feel your presence so powerfully that they never again question their worth or their calling. We declare that from this day forward they will walk in the fullness of their identity as your chosen ones. May their light shine so brightly that others find their way home to you. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. Now I want to hear from you. What sign resonated most deeply with your spirit? Which truth brought tears to your eyes? Share your story in the comments below. Your testimony might be exactly what another chosen one needs to hear today. If this message has awakened something within you, please share it with someone who might be struggling to understand their own divine calling. You never know who's been praying for exactly this confirmation. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of awakened souls, here supporting each other as we walk this extraordinary path together. Thank you for staying until the end. Your presence here wasn't accidental. It was a divine appointment. And remember, whenever you feel alone, whenever you doubt your calling, come back to this message. Let it remind you of who you truly are. You are chosen. You are equipped. You are never alone. Until next time, keep shining your light, dear one. The world needs exactly who you are. Go in peace, knowing heaven itself confirms your calling.